Essaye. 1, 2. Essaye.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm welcoming you to this session on innovative solutions for land management and property registration. And we've got an esteemed panel here, as you can see. We actually thought we'd have 6 people, but we've got 5. So that means they'll have 10 minutes to 15 minutes to present so that we leave some time at the end for question and answers. And you'll hear me knocking something when they're into their 10 minutes. So don't worry if I do that. It's just an alert to the speakers. We've been hearing all this morning about, A, the importance of land and property rights for development. But equally so, we've been hearing an awful lot about the challenges. You in this room will know some of those. But what we're going to hear in this session from people is about some real ideas, innovations, in order to overcome these challenges. There will be insights, and perhaps they'll not always be answers, but perhaps they will lead us to those answers. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from our panellists. So without further ado, you don't need to hear too much from me. I'm going to present the first speaker, Mr. Hussain. And I read that you're a property registration consultant, having worked for the World Bank. Your previous roles have been at UN Habitat, so you're in good family hands here right now. And by way of background, he's an architecture with specialisation in urban planning. And glad to read that you're fully conversant with land management, tenure security and urban governance. Enough from me, let's hear from you. Thank you.
Or something? مساء الخير جميعا. أنا هحاول.
Good evening, everyone. I am going to give you the situation in Egypt regarding urban development in the context in Egypt itself, especially when it comes to land management and land registration. Another addition that I want to let you know about is a preliminary model with the World Bank in Egypt regarding new cities. It is not, it is small. We are trying to make some changes in land registry. These are the main 2 points that we are going to discuss together. This is not the presentation. No, we are sorry. This is the one. The first thing which is very important to know is about the situation in Egypt. Egypt, since 1960, urbanization was 37% in 1960. In 1986, it was 42.9%. And today, it did not change. It remained the same. The number of the population doubled. We are now 107 million people. And also, we reached 40% of lands that are built. There is a problem in urban there is a problem of balance, of urban balance. This is something which we are going to see clearly in this slide. If we see the population distribution and dynamics, we built 61 new cities, but they were not as efficient. But the already existing cities and villages are hosting the majority of the population. When the country tries to invest, they invest only 21 a small percentage in already existing cities, while double in new cities. The country is trying to attract more people to go to the new cities. The new cities, how new cities started in Egypt? They started from a long time ago, but I only chose two main points to talk about. In 1896, with the construction of the Suez Canal, Egypt started to build new cities. We built Ismailia, Suez, and other countries. And then the leadership in Egypt concluded that urbanization is very important and also important for security within the country. This in the War of October in 1974 by the President Anwar Sadat. This paper, which is the October paper, said that we have to expand the urbanization. We started in the city of the 6th of October, which is a little bit far from Cairo, and the main objective was for it to attract people. A couple years ago, we started to build new cities and build twinship between cities. We also started to build small cities in the beginning of the new century, and now we are living a new phase, which is the phase of the mega new cities like Al Alamein, which are very massive countries that are hosting large numbers of people. New cities did not host the numbers which the government wanted. They were only able to accommodate less than 10% of the population. And there was an imbalance in the movement of people from old cities to new cities. Sadly, we did not. We have a rise in urbanization with therefore the country now is trying to upgrade its land. Its land revolution. Now we moved to the third generation megacities, which is a very large city which is adjacent to Cairo. We started to work with the city and the people in charge of new cities in Egypt in order to try new dynamics. This project was financed and funded by SECO, which is the government of Switzerland, and the main goal of it was to work on urban management and all that has to do with it, the needs to digitalization, archiving, and creating a platform which is related to developing ways to manage the new cities. Two things were launched which are the strategy of new cities. This is national-wise, and also we are working now to work on something which is a spatial plan. So we are trying to link two new cities together. Unfortunately, in 2020, the by the evaluation by the World Bank and property registration, we are still lagging behind. Egypt is a very old country with bureaucracy and old heritage of laws and legislations and regulations in the bureaucracy regarding property registration. This is a sequence from 1946 of the laws that are regulating real estate in Egypt all the way to 2023. 2018 here was very important, which is the new cities registration law. This is a very important point. In 2018, the country came up with a new law that eases property registration in order to improve laws regarding new cities. These are very new, therefore there are no problems of inheritance and similar things. We started our project in 2022. There was no house within the Sheikh Zayed city registered, or units were not registered by that particular day. And what are the things needed in order to register the units? We came up with the conclusion that first of all, the needs to registration are different. Sheikh Zayed is not the same as Hashim Ramadan, so each new city is specific and different from the other one. People do not need to do a lot of work in order to register their property. What we try to do is that what we see down below is the smaller one. It was the one proposed, the process proposed on the government to work on in the future. So we can shorten the number of steps required in the days as well to 12 days without any change in regulations in laws or ask the government to apply any changes. These are the things that I want to show you here. These small details are very important. This is only an electronic system. In order to gain 14 extra days, if you are going to gain 7 days. So we are going to work with the government to show them the importance of this. This will change the way of thinking as well. Until we reach these documents you see here, we talk with the government that we have a problem that should be, it must be solved. If we register a unit, the person would buy it from the government, and this is what we are trying to apply now with this template. This comes from the registration office, and it would make the people that register the property based on the already existing documents without any need to any additional documents. Thank God we succeeded in registering in the past 2 months more than 200 units, and it worked. There are still some problems. For example, there are so many challenges and limitations. unfortunately, we are trying to work together on fixing this problem in order to register 25 units a week, and then start and then go up from this point. In addition to 7,000, in order to achieve this, there were some limitations and challenges which we should focus on, which are if you get the where you can get the data in order to register. We have to have we have to have data in order to work on. We have to use drones in order to have in order to have a view on the city. We work also on and also one what you see here in front of you is selling lands is the revenues, is the source of money. We must find another solution to work, which is the capitalization on gaps and empty spaces. So in order to work and then work inside the city with the council of the city in an operation plan and also a financial plan of how to use and then develop projects which are in the benefit of the people. And also generate money. We are also trying to propose our plans on the people. Sometimes the people are refusing the submitted projects. We checked on other areas, so we can give them a full template of the project. So we are trying to work on project in the cities, and then once we put on these projects on the table, this was the goal of the project. We now have multiple units that are ready in the past 4 months. We are trying to reach 100,000 units by the end of this year. We are going to update you with what will happen, and if you want more information, visit the website of the World Bank or send me anytime you want, or contact me anytime you want on my email. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hussain, and for going so quickly through what was a lot of detail. Is there one question, burning question, for Mr. Hussain? If not, hold it until the end, where we'll do question and answers. So I'm now pleased to introduce the second speaker, Mr. Onlu. I probably mispronounced your name, forgive me. But from the Comoros Islands, and I understand I've actually got your bio from your other presenter, so I don't have the detail of your background. So when you actually introduce your presentation, please just talk 1 minute about yourself. Can I invite you up for your presentation? Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Bonjour. Et la présentation, s'il
The presentation, please. So, first of all, I will present myself. I am from Côte d'Ivoire. I am responsible for the unit of data collection in the Ministry of urbanism and habitat. And I am here with my colleague, the head of this unit. That we work with the tools of planification. It's an honor to be with you today in order to present the work that we have come up with or achieved. It is regarding the emergent technologies and their role for the land management. So this is an overview of our presentation. First of all, we have a general context of our country, and then a presentation, a brief presentation for our institution, the unit of cartography, and the objective of our article, the methodology and tools, and the results that we have achieved. As it's a pilot zone or area, so we elaborated this project, and we will continue in this project in all the region. So it is our non-tangible heritage. So after the results, we will have a discussion and then conclusion. So I think you know where is our country. It is between Madagascar and the Africa continent. So it is between Great Comoros and Moeli, with a population of 419 inhabitants per kilometer cube. We have very rapid population growth. So for the demography, since 1980 till 2030, as you can see, we have a very rapid growth increase, and it can cause an urban isolation, so an urban sprawl. And we have come up with some difficulties, for example, the pressure on natural resources and infrastructure challenges, since we have a very rapid growth, as I have just mentioned, and we didn't have tools that can manage this pressure on natural resources. For this unit of this cartographic unit, it has been established in March 2022 to strengthen spatial planning and land management capacities. We have a role of a national georeference database, because cartographic domain or field has not been evolving, but we have this role of institution that can have within all the geographical data. The objective of our article is to analyze the role of emerging technologies in the modernization of land management in the Comoros, and based on the practical case of the states-built heritage. And the objective also is to come up with recommendations. Our methodology, as it is a new institution, we didn't have a database, but we have tried to work with other institutions, especially with the institutions in the land field. So we elaborated a mixed methods. So it was a qualitative analysis. We analyzed the documents that we already have. It was a bit challenging because we are a country that is colonized, that was colonized by France, and the law existing are colonial laws. So with the efforts of governments now, we can come up with new laws that aligns with our terms. We have worked with some geospatial images, and it is from 2019, in order to know the areas that are not accessible. And those images are 3 islands. We have also used as methods qualitative interviews with institutions that work in this field. We have the service of cadastre, and in order to realize this mission. And also we have worked with security-related institutions. Those are the methodology used in order to work. Also the use of the geographic and maps in order to come up with the maps. So for the GPS, in order to have our data, we have worked with images. As you can see, they are very high resolution images. We have elaborated a data collection sheet, and we have used GPS. For the geolocalization and other software, as you can see here in the picture. For the results, first of all, the contributions of emerging technologies in land inventory. We had this precise mapping of land assets, which is Moroni, and also identified underused or undocumented areas, because we have used spatial images, very high resolution images. And we've come up with other zones or areas that wasn't known before. There is also the timing, which was very important. The use of images that has facilitated the data collection process, satellite images. And also we have clear information and precise information from the areas that was not accessible. We have detected some changes in institutions for this inventory. And we want to change our methodology and our way of acting. And with the experience that we've had in this pilot project, next time we would like to use drones in order to have images that are updated and with this good perspective, because the images used are images of that is from 2018. There is also the impact of heritage in Moroni in the our work. So we had some positive results because we had a better knowledge of public heritage that was not known before or as known. Then we have done interviews, research, and advanced research regarding the occupations on state-owned properties. So we know, so we could identify unauthorized occupation or state-owned properties. And we have also had the opportunity to know or to see this new investment project after we have known or identified those lands that were identified. We could work in the with investments or work in investing projects. So those are the statistics that we've come up with. As I have already mentioned, we have tried to play a very important role and also to have to contextualize those information. So the space occupation, we have the pilot areas, which are the private buildings and public buildings. If we want to do analysis just for this space, 8% of those buildings are public zones. So those occupations, we wanted to know exactly how private buildings can occupy those areas. And we have found owners and temporary occupied. We have also some other informations here, as you can see on those images. We have the spatial analysis. Those are the information that we have presented for the discussion. We have the identified illegally occupied lands. We have identified this land database. We've come up with this land database. So we had some challenges regarding the technical capacities, because we had a very limited technical capacities. And also we didn't have the means in order to continue our work. And we have also the perspectives to propose, which are investing in technical training and awareness. So we already have the experience from what we have done, and we want to have a geographic system of information. To conclude, the emerging technologies offer immense potential to modernize land management in the commerce. The inventory of the state's built and unbuilt assets in the pilot area of Moroni illustrated how these tools can improve transparency, planning, and efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Anlu, or Monsieur Anlu. I'm now going to ask our third presenter, our third speaker, Mr. Haytham, to come on up. He's got over 10 years of building and construction, and he's currently heading up the Geographic Information System Department, where you're doing an awful lot about developing and managing comprehensive geographic data systems. I see you also specialise in land management, which is great to hear. But you've also said a rare pioneering field in the Arab land world. We sort of touched upon that this morning, when you were listening to people. So I know where you're coming from, and I'm going to look forward to hearing what you've got to say in just over 10 minutes. Thank you.
مساء الخير. بالأول كنت أعذروني شوي على التوتر لأن أول
Excuse me, I am stressed. First of all, I would like to thank the Moroccan Kingdom for hosting this conference. And I want to thank everyone, the organizer, especially the housing management and land management. And thank you for organizing this conference once again. Today we are presenting to you a very scientific paper, which is the land data bank and its integration with relevant institutions to improve land management in Palestine. As you can see from the title has three parts: the data bank and the institution-related relations. First of all, let's give a definition to data bank and land. It's a database, central database that has very specific and inclusive information about land and about land in Palestine. This map presents and this study of the data bank, and first of all, let's see the goals and the importance of launching this data bank. First of all, it provides central and inclusive data, and it reinforces decision making, and it reinforces natural resources management, and it would stop land conflicts and would support economic development, and it would provide an inclusive vision of the challenges and opportunities relating to land use, and would support and reinforce initiatives to digital transformation and capacity building in national management. First of all, as master students in the Quds University, first when we started studying, it was expected that we have 13 institutions relating to lands, and during our studying, 27 students are our supervisors. We visited these institutions, and we would explore this institution and get to know its role to actually repair its importance, whether it's solving conflicts, developing. And sometimes we would discover and explore the institution, and the results are that 80% of these institutions are land related. Every institution works solely on lands, and there is no information exchange between them. And there is data repetition and redundancy. And now let's see the activities. Now let's see the activities. For example, principalities, it does need a very accurate and specific data about land borders and land property and current uses and future uses of lands, and the legal situation of lands, and the approximate value of the property to provide general services, and to plan projects, and to authorize building authorizations. We have also the public work ministry that needs very accurate data about land to localize lands and projects, and to actually gather and collect Ministry of Awqaf runs the Waqf lands, and the social society investors have data to localize zones for trading projects or housing or industrial projects. The second problem is that there is institutions that has data but can't use it properly, or it's and for the main role of these, we have added we have possession and ownership, we have real estate evaluation, land uses, land development, resolving land disputes, and in future we must using just to improve land management. Which is to improve again land management. The data bank that we want to establish, we have data, property data, land data. For example, we have property data, owner, name, land area, and type of use, whether it's residential, commercial, agriculture. We have plans, the boundaries of land plots, and their engineer specifications. We have legal status. We need to have a view on land ownership and disposal laws. We need to have information about land, whether it's private or governmental. We need to have social inquiry services. Yesterday we were in a workshop and we have made it clear that we should have names shared, and one of the notes is that we cannot share the name with citizens and civilians. This might raise the crime rates, especially if they know that the general deputy, or for example, that poses a threat on them. So there must be a wise sharing of data. For example, engineering information could be shared, but private information about the owner must be private. Of course, one of the things that must exist. For example, this is just example. It's not inclusive. We have information about areas where construction or development is permitted. We need to have a data bank about registration and land planning, and historical data management. As you can see in Gaza, there is war and destruction. There is no border land, and if we go back to make a stakeout, there is no preserved data. And there should be a legal reference for future use in catastrophes and wars. Environmental and non-environmental cases, there must be have finance and layers to know what the property and the what the produce is. There is any biodiversity? Is it state-owned? So you can direct the investors and people to these lands to invest in. Of course, one of the challenges that we are going to face is to establish a data and information bank. From a personal experience and a very specific experience of my country, there is programs, there is QGIS software for managing, writing, drawing, and analyzing spatial information. We have PostgreSQL database management and storage, programming language, backend by Microsoft Net, programming and language front end. We need to have a platform that is available for all citizens, and we need to have a geo server program. There is challenges in the fundamental structure, and there is it is unclear. The roles are clear and the jurisdictions are intertwined, and also there is a weak unified technical structure and absence of unified standards for data and IT systems, as we said, lack of a clear legal framework for coordination between the public and the private sectors, lack of coordination between institutions, and absence of clear and specific mechanism for coordination, privacy and security concerns concerns, fears of sensitive information being leaked make organizations hesitate to share data, lack of qualified human resources, institutions lack specialized and trained personnel to manage and exchange data effectively and securely. Financial costs. Creating data exchange infrastructure requires financial resources, and to reinforce responsibility, assuming responsibility and transparency. And one of the recommendation results we have achieved is it is important to create a digital infrastructure and develop a unified central system for land data with the integration of geographic information. And to conclude, we have a data bank in Palestine that is a very fundamental tool to support and reinforce the sustainable development and to achieve complementary between all the institutions and work together in coordination and collaboration. Thank you for your time.
يعطيك العافية. سؤالك متوقع على فكرة.
Thank you. The data bank for lands should be a governmental institution incorporating other governmental and local institutions. It should be general. It's part of the Bank of Land. I might, if I want to give an example, this is an anecdote. While I was a student, a doctor was talking to me, and he mentioned that there was a student in his PhD. He was doing a comparison between Ariha and Nablus. He looked around, but he was never able to find a map with this subject. He called him personally and he inquired that he has a problem. He said that he has a layer with I said when I was explaining the lack of data. I mean, we have data, but we cannot use it and benefit from it. I used this data for my benefit. I did the data. You can see you have to know how to use the data, not only to have the data. It has to be open sourced for for educational institutions and research centers. It might be the subject of a PhD. The end of your study might be the beginning of someone else's, and this land bank should be open for everyone.
And Q&A if needed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so pleased to invite our next speaker, Mr. Tonorale. Tonorale, is that about right? Thank you. Now, he's an urban planner and architect, so we've got a couple of architects in the room here. He's been working in multinational and design firms, often for different agencies of the UN and World Bank. But he's very much been concentrating, this is a bit I like, concentrating on technical as well as policy advice to national and local governments. And you also, Francesco, have a research element to you as well, so there's some more interest there. May I invite you to the podium?
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here. My presentation will look at like a reflection of fit-for-purpose land administration in a city in Somalia, and hopefully will give some takeaways applicable to some other countries. So for those who don't know, fit-for-purpose land administration is an approach to places where land administration is really not present. So it presents a way to really cope with the immense need for land registration and land surveying without imposing the strict and unachievable standards of the places where there is a long-standing land administration tradition. And it follows 7 key principles. So it has to be inclusive, participatory, reliable, flexible, attainable, which means that you can set up a system with the resources which are already there, and then make sure that it's affordable enough so that it can be continued in time, but also that you can upgrade it. And that's where we focus our study on the upgradability. So there are 2 ways of describing upgradability. One is the update, so making sure, as I was saying, that once the system is set up, it's actually kept updated, so that you refine the records, but also you update, for example, if a land is sold or is inherited, you can update the record in that way. But there is also the upgrade in the sense that, as I was saying, you start with a minimum viable product, which is the one that the place where you're working in is able to actually sustain. But then you try in time to upgrade it with better technologies, better capacities, and also transferable to different services. Services means land tenure, which obviously is the main focus, especially on pro-poor interventions, but also land valuation, also including land taxation. There is land use for using the cadastral and the land property registration for also managing and overseeing the development of a city, and also land development. So our case studies is Bosaso. It's the city in the north of Somalia, and we look at a very extent time where 3 different UN projects actually tried to implement and improve the land administration. From 2008, with JPLG, which was looking at local governance, through another one which is called land-based finance. And the last one is actually focused on displacement, but as a land component, which was quite strong, and is still going on at the moment. For our analysis, we looked at all the different pathways of the framework for effective land administration. But for the sake of time, we are just looking at a few of them and giving you some key takeaways. For the rest, you can look at the published paper, and I will put a link at the end. So, looking at governance and institution, at the beginning, there was a quite broad approach looking at land and property taxation, but also land development and urban planning. But to be very focused, they prioritized the land taxation because also the municipality, which was very new, really needed resources. And the project began with small teams of different UN agencies focusing on different services. But this approach actually stayed along for most of the year. So there is a very fragmented responsibility within the municipality, although it's a quite small entity in itself. And the success of the property registration actually didn't really meant that it could expand and reverberate to the other departments, but actually the municipality decided to push all the resources towards improving the land taxation and leaving the focus of the rest away. And I think for a better understanding, I think this is quite striking. There is even two different systems for the land taxation, which is on the right, and all the other services on the left. So the city is divided in like small zones and subzones for land property registration, but these are actually not linked with the land title deeds or the subdivision for the service delivery which the city has adopted, which is quite strange and actually imposes a lot of problems in the day-to-day administration of the city. Also, in terms of finance, obviously with these efforts towards land taxation, actually the city is now much more stable economically. Now land-based revenue is up to 15% of the total, and it's very stable across the years, although it's increasing because the properties are increasing. And also they managed to have new systems, thanks also of the World Bank coming with better software. They allow the payment system, which is now completely based on SMS codes. So you don't even need the tax collectors. But on the other side, they never improved the way tax is calculated and collected, which is only based on the surface of the area and on the height of the building, and doesn't take into account the value of the property, the position of the property, and so on. So it means that the municipality trying to improve its resources is actually trying to just promote further development instead of improving the way the tax is actually managed. This also look at the it links to the data and processes. So they have a very recently developed GIS-based property survey, which was done in 3 different years, in 2008, 2016, and 2022. And they linked every record with a physical code which is put in every property. But actually the level of detail, which at the beginning, as I said, the ambition was very high, so they had very detailed information on the type of property, the materials, the ownership, and so on, and the building footprint with the land use and so on, was depleted to only account for the key information which were needed for the tax. So now it's point-based and only has the height of the building and the name of the owner. The same for the code is not the same through the years. So if you see the tag on the metal door, but then on the sides there are different codes from the previous registrations, which also really hampers the way you can use the databases for comparability and other different things. And also, this database is not used in the land unit. So you see the municipal finance unit use computers, GIS database, and is paid with the mobile money. On the other side, the land unit is still paper-based. There is also a problem with the coverage, because they don't account for anything which is outside the bypasses, and that's also a problem in terms of vulnerabilities, because the ones which you see in pink are actually IDP camps, which are not covered by the proper registration because they would not pay taxes, mainly. And lastly, for the capacity and education, so the municipality really improved its capacity. They tried to consolidate the structure of the organigram of the different departments, and also improve the way the people are hired, which at the beginning, basically, the municipality was the main employer of the city. But now they really try to hire people with the right skills to do the job, but they on the negative side, they really depend on the funding of donors, whereas it's the UN or other agencies, which means also that there is a high turnover, because when the project stops, everything stops, even the people which are supposed to work on the project, and this also causes a dispersion of a big dispersion of the donor. And as I was saying, the resources are really prioritized for the tax and finance staff and not so much for the rest. So a few takeaways, like the fit-for-purpose design is very promising, and I think we have seen many ways where this is actually applied well, but it really needs to take into account all the stages of the projects, even when the external help phases out, and you leave the local government dealing with the project on its own. Also, it's very important to think of land administration beyond the land tenure and land. Yes, thank you. Land tenure and land valuation, because you have many other services which need this information, but you also need to create the integration to allow these synergies. And finally, the long-term investment, so fit for purpose, can be a way to start small, but to continue and actually improve. You really need to have an holistic view and a long-term sustainable understanding of how this project can continue. Otherwise, it will stop at the initial phase, and you will lose a lot of resources. That's it. If you're interested, you can read the article, which was published just a couple of weeks ago. And if you're more interested in Bosaso, you can also see the city strategies that UN Habitat has developed last year with the municipality. Thank you very much.
Did you say that was the link on the end slide to reading more about it? Yeah, great, thank you. And thank you very much. Any quick question for a quick answer before we go to our final speaker? Yes, sir.
Could you just put the QR code?
Oh, yes. So whilst he does that, I'll...
I can give you the link later.
But it would be good if it comes back on the screen, because other people might. So if the support crew can just bring that presentation back up with the final slide, please. Hopefully they've got that message. Without further ado, though, because time is tight, I want to introduce our final speaker, Mr. Mohammed, who's a Sudanese legal expert, PhD in political science and BSc in law and government. And so you're going away from the architects now. We're going into political science a bit more and law. But his current role as a consultant is in the legal and government affairs sector and the Department of Municipalities and Transport in Abu Dhabi. Can I ask you to come to the podium, please?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. مساء الخير.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank the Moroccan Kingdom for hosting this conference, and I also want to thank all the organizers for this event. This is not my first participation in the Conference of Arab Lands. This is Arab Land. This is my third one. Thank you for your attendance. I know that after lunch people are getting sleepy, but thank you for your attendance. I believe that I am going to try to simplify the topic and make it more straightforward so people can understand it. What I'm going to talk about is I'm going to try to discuss how the legislator is trying to protect the contract of selling.
شوف العقار حتى الآن ما زال هو مصدر من مظاهر السيادة الوطنية وبرضه نعدي.
And we will also see some new notions about the land registration and what is the difference between the selling a property. We will see the position of the legislator in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. Legislative framework for real estate regulation in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi imbalances in the contractual relationship for off-plan sale, manifestations of legislative intervention in the Emirate Arab of Abu Dhabi. There must be a law, an internal law of managing these lands. This law is important economic tool, as any economic change results in accompanying and the and justice requires that the parties are bound only by what they agree on voluntarily and willingly, so that it becomes the law between them. As long as the contract derives is binding force from the meeting of the two wills, the will can make its own law. This results This has resulted in the parties' agreement, and we should leave space for the more powerful party to impose its capacity on those who are less competent or have less capability. For example, in a contract, always the powerful party has more power on the less powerful party. And the but the legislator must intervene in this case to solve conflicts when it's going to contractual relations in contracts. The contract balance is to achieve equality in and justice in between the two contractual parties. Equality is not considered a real inlet of the imbalance between the parties to the contractual relationship due to disparity in personal qualities and financial and cognitive capabilities enjoyed by each party to the relationship. Contractual balance is the achievement of justice and equality in rights, duties, and obligations between the parties to the contractual relationship. If one of the party has leverage and power over the other party, there is a disruption in the relation mechanisms of the two contractual parties. The second thing is auto-fragile contractual imbalance, and it is related to the contracting person, and it happens when the realization or the cognitive level is not enough for the one of the parties to make decisions. We will also see the freedom of contracting and the imperative of balance. The legislative intervention in the contractual relations after the individual trend considered is a restriction as the legislator intervenes by preventing arbitrary conditions or stipulating their individuality. The second thing, the law might stipulate that some conditions must be included in the contract to keep the balance between the two contracted parties. The legislator should have legal obligations, not contractual obligations. That stems from the law itself, not the contract. The fourth intervention is the legislator is intervening to actually regulate the relationship, and in case of any compensations or to stop and prevent impunity. The legislator also develops and helps in the progress of the general and public order. In the contractual balance, the notion of public order is important. The overall result is that the legislator is there to impose balance and has a leverage to intervene in explaining articles and dismiss any doubt or skepticism. In many cases, in many global trends, and the melting of national borders, land is still the most important element of the state. So to to reach a borders opening, and there should be specific lands dedicated to managing this national leadership. There is new concepts in the real estate industry. Real estate is no longer the traditional concept, but rather a comprehensive concept, and the decline of the traditional understanding of real estate. It is associated with many real estate rights and activists, valuation, brokerage, management, and financing. It is related to the concept of real estate services, hard service, flexible services, and we have, for example, the notion and characteristics of sale on the map. It is the contract that by which the buyer has the registration and land rights, legal instrument through the contract by which the buyer is granted property right over a proposed property in this Sarata plan or complex plan. The legislator in Abu Dhabi has this leverage according to some articles in the law. There is an entire legislative framework. The law of property management, for example. There is an imbalance in the contractual relation for sale on the map. There is risks and threats related to the land management and the land development and the developer. For example, we have a very unclear relation between the developer and the owner of a project, and we have market transformation. Now let's see how the legislator in Abu Dhabi is intervening. We have for example, we have property transfer, property sale, and the legislator has tools and mechanisms to intervene according to articles based on conditions and requirements. Secondly, they imposed obligations on the contractual parties that is based on law, and there is also the adoption of exemplary contracts, and also to organize the annulment of a contract and to impose fiscal and criminal penalties, and organizing contract and imposing fines and administrative penalties. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. Any quick question of Mr. Mohammed? Oh, yes, quick, please, and quick answer, and then we'll go to Q&A. Have we got a mic? Sorry, may I ask you to come and get this mic?
Hello, I will speak in French, if it's possible.
You have talked about selling on the map that you do in the United Arab Emirates, but you have also talked about how the contract can be terminated, whether it be by the seller or the buyer. But what is the part that proves to us, or that guarantees to us as buyers when we buy at the United Arab Emirates? If you say that the provider or developer can terminate at all time, is there a legislation that would that protects the buyer? I know that you have a system, a purchase system that is different. For example, in Europe, I work on programs in VEVA. We sell. We have a law that regulates the payments, for example. Is it similar in the United Arab Emirates? Do you have you done at all parties any advancement? Do you have a fee that is given to the seller, and the state protects the buyer, and then the sum is sent to the seller? Isn't that the case?
خلال المطور حقيقة في إمارة أبو ظبي، نتكلم عن إمارة أبو ظبي عموما، طبعا كل إمارة في الإمارات عندها قانون الخاص بتاع العقارات. فيما يتعلق بسداد الثمن اللي هو الدفعات المسددة، طبعا في لابد أي مطور يعمل اتفاقية اسمها اتفاقية حساب ضمان سكرو أكاونت. لازم أي اتفاقية تسجل في سجل عقاري. طبعا بلدية أبو ظبي هي الجهة الحكومية القائمة على مسك السجل و ضبط المشاريع، وتسجل عندنا المشاريع التطويرية تسجل عندها، وهي اللي بتقوم على الرقابة، وهي الريجوليتر بتاع المنظمة لكل التشريعات. زي ما قلت لك المشتري بيسدد الثمن حسب نسبة الإنجاز ويودعها في سكور أكاونت. السكور أكاونت ده هو يكون مدير الحساب دائما جهة مالية مصرفية، يعني بنوك بموجب اتفاقية، ولا بد اتفاقية تسجل في المشروع التطويري في البلدية. غير كده ما بتكون ملزمة أي مبلغ يسدد المشتري خارج حساب الضمان، ما بكون ملزم له وكده. لما يتعلق بآلية الفسخ، الحقيقة الفسخ إخلال المطور إذا تقدم أكثر من خمسة مشترين في مشروع بأنه في إخلال فيما يتعلق بالتزامات المطور، إذا كان في إخلال في التسليم وكده أو في البدء في المشروع كده، فبيقدموا شكوى للأمين الحساب. أمين الحساب بيعمل تقرير فني كامل عن المشروع، بيرفعه للبلدية. البلدية بعد ذاك إدارة التسجيل العقاري هي بتحدد شنو مصير المشروع، هل هو يدوه لمطور ثاني أو يتباع والمطور كده ويعني يتم توزيع المبالغ الموجودة في حساب الضمان على المشترين كلهم حسب سددوا وكده. بالنسبة في حال إخلال المشتري، القانون الحالي بيدي المطور الحق انه يمشي المحكمه مباشره من خلال قاضي رموز مستعجله يطلب يعني دعوه مستعجله في مواجهه المشتري. لكن هذه الاليه المشرع في مارس تنظيميا احنا الحين عاكفين على تعديل قانون جديد بعد 10 سنوات، وقانون صدر 2015 بعد 10 سنوات، انه الاليه بتاخذ لونج تيرم في النام وما عندها اثر في السوق. فاتخلقت دلوقتي خلقنا اليه ان شاء الله خلال شهر شهرين بيصدر قانون جديد بحيث انه المطور يقدم طلب للدائره بعد ما يختار المشتري بانه اخل في بالتزاماته، يختار الدائره انه انا اخترته ونعطيه 60 يوم عشان يجي يسدد التزاماته. اذا ما سددها بنمشي باجراءات معينه باعلانات وكذا وكذا الى ان نصل الى مرحله نسمح للمطور باعاده طرح الوحده العقاريه للبيع، ومن خلال المبلغ بتاع البيع بنحدد من خلال بنسبه بين نسبه الانجاز وبين نسبه السداد. بعد ذلك بتحدد نسبه ارجاع
And then we give back the amount of money to the buyer, and then we compensate for damages, the developer for damages.
A tea break. Oh, hang on. What have I? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, it's gone a bit odd. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you could just spare 5 more minutes, so that we can just ask if there are any questions that you would like to give to our panel. Maybe we'll just take 2 questions. There's one at the back there, and there's one at the front. Oh, my goodness. If you promise to keep them short, we can do 3. But please, not long, because everybody wants to leave the room. We did start late, and we're just about an hour and a half in now. So we'll take those 3 questions, and then we'll begin to close. So are you all right with that, panel? 3 questions, 3 brief answers. Answers, keep them brief. Otherwise, we'll not get through everybody. I'll take the gentleman at the back first, then I'll go over to my left and then come back to my right. If he doesn't listen to me, then you'll be the reserve. Okay, over to you, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Good morning. I have plenty of questions, and I'm going to be precise enough. My question is for the last guest is selling land under construction. And the Moroccan law, if you sell something once and this is applicable on land and the real estate that is sold based on its space. In other terms, in the process of selling real estate under construction, it is for certain the space of the real estate under construction is not the same one. So is the UAE took into consideration the spatial aspect? Is there a difference between the first plan and the final plan? Isn't there going to be a problem in registering the built real estate in the we are going to
Last one.
So we'll just go over to this gentleman with his, then this gentleman. Otherwise, we won't get everybody's in.
So
but thank you.
It's enough for me.
Yes, it is, but it's very good. Thank you, and I'm sure you'll get a brief answer. Please, sir, your question. We'll take all 3 questions first, then the panel will answer.
Good day. I'm a professor from the University of Baghdad. I have a question from 2 parts. and we use informatics, and we need a platform and specific tools. We use some firms whom are dealing with regional agencies. There is a possibility that via a conference we deal directly or via a regional agent. If it is connected with, we must, there might be a problem in the data. If
خلينا نقول محدودة الصلاحية. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you. Your question. Thank you.
شكرا على الميكروفون. Thank you, everyone. My question is about the last speaker, which is basically the discussion about who has the information. It's a very important question. For example, we have the architecture Python in the district. The district pays you taxes, right? And what is the type of data that you can share with people in this district, and who has this information and data? What is the form of land administration that the bank is different of the governance and in general? And this would make us think about the hierarchy. Do we need data and land administration in the bank in each
الكل بيتعامل مع الداتا. شكرا.
Are you going to promise it's very quick? Behind you, very, very, very quick.
Thank you. شكرا. سؤالي موجه بشكل مباشر للمتدخل من مصر العربية حول المدن الجديدة. فهمت من تدخلكم بأنكم تبذلون مجهودا كبيرا من أجل بناء مدن جديدة، غير أن تفاعل المواطنين معها ضعيف جدا. تكلمتم عن هذه النقطة ولكن لم تذكروا الأسباب التي تجعل المواطنين لا يقبلون على المدن الجديدة. أطرح هذا السؤال لأننا نحن في المغرب أيضا نأخذ تجربة المدن الجديدة، نريد أن نستفيد. طرحت الإشكال ولكن لم تطرح الحلول من أجل أن تعمم التجربة. ثانيا، السؤال الثاني بعجالة وهو يتعلق أيضا بالمباني. ذكرتم بأن نسبة المباني في مصر كثيرة جدا لكن نسبة كبيرة منها غير مسجلة. أيضا ذكرتم الإشكال ولكن ما تذكروا الأسباب لترسيم هذه البنايات، وتسجيلها هو داخل في إطار ضمان حق الملكية للمواطنين، باعتبار أن الأرض في الوطن العربي شيء هام وهام للغاية. شكرا.
Thank you very much. So, panel, what I've heard is a question from the back on construction and registration to probably Mr. Mohammed. Informatics problem, I'm sorry, we only get half the translation. Informatics problem with the data, probably Mr. Hathain. Who has the information? What data can we store? Again, probably you, Mr. Hathain. Was that you? Yes. And then I didn't get actually the question about, but I heard it was for Egypt. So, Mr. Hussein, can I really ask you to constrain yourselves and keep it short, because we've got a tea break and you can carry on the conversation there. Please go ahead.
شكرا جدا على السؤال. وانا اتطرقت له على عجاله لانه المشرع في اطار تنظيم العلاقه التعاقديه وخلق التوازن نظم مساحه مساحه النص.
What you mentioned is very general. The law of land management was regarding the space management, the right of the buyer in case of increases of 5% regarding space. The legislator must intervene so none of the parties could add more than 20% of space or add or agree upon more than 20%. This 5% to 20% is binding, and they do not look. And the legislator set what is what binds the buyer and what binds the developer, and this is in Abu Dhabi and shown in the contracts as mentioned in the law. Thank you. We start by the question of Dr. Samir. I was unable to understand your question, but I'm going to go back to you. I'm going to answer Dr. Samir first. Should each country have its own bank of a data land bank? In Palestine is not similar to Belgium, and the legislations differ from a country to another. Each country must have its own land bank of land. I have a recommendation for the Arab Land Initiative. They must have an official website where you can upload any map and share it with any country or anyone, and there would be the availability of the download option, so we can exchange expertise and culture between people. This is an initiative, or more of a recommendation to the Arab Land Initiative, to add maps on its official website. It is going to attract a lot of followership. I hope I was able to answer your question properly. Yes, I do remember. The the bank must not don't have to be governmental. There should be an administrative board dedicated to it to stop the monopoly of data. Each firm should not monopolize data for itself. For example, the vegetation and these things should be open sourced and open to the public and institutions. A bank must have a board of directors which constitutes of the government and other institutions. It should be vital and updated with the new maps, research results, project proposals, anything on the public or private sphere. This must be the ground zero for a new research. Unfortunately, if we go back to the reasons why new cities in Egypt are not working properly, we might take days. There are international experts and local experts who discussed this subject. There is a point I want to talk about here, which is Egypt is a massive country with a huge population. When we talk about people with 250,000 people, such as Sheikh Zayed, it did not reach the number of people estimated, but this number in other countries, such as in Europe, this might be 5 cities combined. The difference in the size makes a difference. But if we dig into the reasons themselves, but throughout years, those new cities went through phases. The first phase was taking people away from Cairo. We discovered that this is not working properly. People do not want to leave their houses and family bounds and look for new ways to adapt and make a living. So we started building new cities closer to the big cities, so you won't have to travel for 60 kilometers, for example. So let's just make it 20 kilometers. The subject worked in this. So when we went towards implementing small cities, we started to face the cost of living and also healthcare infrastructure, schools, and how to move to these infrastructure. But so far we are still struggling with this issue. In Egypt we are talking about 13,000 administrative decisions and legislative on all spheres that are controlling legislation. It is very complicated within Egypt. The people working in this regard and Umar in registry offices are finding problems. When there are new laws, they find it very difficult to understand the new laws and their difference with the old ones. And also, whenever there is overlap or something similar, the problem in registration is land taxation. This is a very important point for everyone here with us and all the countries, nations. When you come to registration, you do not link it to taxation. So people would register. So when people find 5% or more, they find it very difficult to register their land due to these taxes. So they use other ways.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we've heard from Egypt, we've heard from Palestine, we've heard about the Comoros, and we've heard about Somalia, and also Abu Dhabi, the Emirate. So I really hope that you found some insights. Please continue. I've got to thank you for participating. Thank you to the interpreters, and above all, thanks to the Kingdom of Morocco for actually hosting this event. Thank you, panellists.